Hey guys, today we're going to talk about Azumarill and its place in the Great League. As you can see, we're looking at it right here. It looks like not a whole lot. It is just a little egg-shaped Pokemon with some arms and legs and some like bunny ears. But honestly, it is a Dragon Slayer. It is built to take out Altaria, which we've covered in a recent video. You can check that out if you guys haven't already. But it is built to take out Altaria or any other dragon that you might have. Azumarill is a water fairy type, which means it's going to be weak to electric, grass, and poison. Then it has resistance to bug, dark, fighting, fire, ice, and water. It also has a double resistance to dragon type moves. As you can see, as I start playing some of these, it will tank hits from Altaria or any of your other dragon types if they use a dragon type move on it. Now, as far as you might notice, I've got a Twilight question mark because I am trying to figure out if this is actually good in the meta of the Twilight Cup that Silph League Arena just announced. Twilight Cup, you can use Dark, Fairy, Poison, and there's one more and I can't remember it now. Oh yeah, it's Ghost, which is, I don't know if there are any good Ghosts right now to use in this. And looking at the Fairy types, I'm not sure if anything is going to compete with Azumarill. And really, Azumarill is kind of on the edge depending on what moveset like Toxicroak has or something like that. It's just a question mark right now there for me. I've got to run some more stuff on it. So let's take a look at its fast moves. It has two fast moves. It has Bubble and Rock Smash. I am recommending that you run Bubble because of the energy per turn, or EPT, is much higher. Bubble is an 8 power move, 11 energy. It is a 3 duration move, so it is a longer move. But you're getting 2.67 DPT or damage per turn, and then you're getting 3.67 EPT, which is fairly high. Rock Smash, I just don't see where it's more useful than Bubble. Maybe in some certain situations it might come in handy, but its energy per turn is so low. It's only 2.33, so that's very low, and it's gonna take a long time to get your charge moves off with Rock Smash, so I just don't recommend it. So if we look at our charge moves, we have Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, and Play Rough. Of those, on mine right now, I'm running Play Rough and Ice Beam. Now, if we look, you could run Hydro Pump. It is a single bar charge move. It just takes a little longer to get to it. So let's look Ice Beam first. It is a 90 power move, 55 energy, 1.64 DPE. So it is a fairly high DPE. And it is going to be super effective against Dragon, Flying, Grass, and Ground. Which means like your Altaria, it's going to have a double weakness to this because it is Dragon Flying. So it is going to knock out that Altaria very quickly because of that. And it's resisted by Fire, Ice, Steel, and Water. The next move we'll look at is the Play Rough. It is a 90 power move with 60 energy, and it is, so that makes it 1.5 DPE. It is going to be super effective to Dark, Dragon, and Fighting. So that's important to know, especially for the upcoming Twilight Cup, the Dark and Fighting. Very important to know those two. And then it's going to be resisted, though, by Fire, Poison, and Steel. So its main thing that I've been looking at this for is to go up against Toxicroak. So against Toxicroak, it's going to do neutral damage with Play Rough. Just so you guys are aware of that. Now it also does neutral damage with Ice Beam as well that we already talked about. Now Hydro Pump is also an option. It's a 130 power move, but it's going to take you 75 energy to get to that. That's going to take you quite a while to get there, even with Bubble. And it is a 1.73 DPE. So it is the highest DPE move, but it's also going to take you the longest to get to it. So you have to kind of weigh those out, especially with what other people are running, or in the certain cup, you may not be able to use Hydro Pump. So that's going to be super effective against fire, ground, rock. And it's going to be resisted by dragon, grass, and water. So just keep that in mind, those resistances and everything like that. Now, as far as how many turns is it going to take you to get to these moves, Ice Beam is going to take you 15 turns to get to it for the first activation with Bubble. So that is on the slower, maybe mid to slower end of getting to these charge moves. Probably middle tier, I know. And then you've got Play Rough. It's going to take you 18 turns with Bubble to get to the first activation, and Hydro Pump is 21 turns. So you can see that's quite a bit longer to get there. So that is why I'm running Bubble, and then with Play Rough and Ice Beam. Just feel like that's the best set, especially if you're just playing an open meta of the Great League. You're going to come up against some dragons and stuff like that. So Play Rough, Ice Beam are both viable options in that. Play Rough is good against your fighting types and then dark types as well. So that does help out in that. There's not a... both are resisted by fire, so you may want to be aware of that. I don't come up against a whole lot of fire in the Great League outside of like Charizard with Community Day, Blast Burn, something like that, which I believe would take neutral damage from an Ice Beam because it is a flying type. So it's just keep that in mind. That's why I'm running this set. Another reason I like Azumarill is that it is fairly easy to find. You can find it actually in the wild, even though it's an evolved form of Marill. Marill can be found in the wild, and then you can evolve it for 25 candy. So that's a very low evolve cost to get this. But it is an investment in Stardust to get it up to a level where it is almost maxed out. You can see this one just has a few more before it's maxed out. So that is something to keep in mind, that the Stardust is going to cost you a lot. Also, to unlock a second move is going to be 50 candies and 50,000 Stardust, so that's another consideration. But I will tell you that this works well on a lot of my teams to either scare off dragons so they don't, if you're running like a tournament and they allow you to have a 6 Pokemon team and then you can only bring 3, sometimes this will scare off an Altaria or something like that, knowing you have it. It does resist a lot of things that are in the meta right now, so I would just keep that in mind. Know that it is an option, and that it is a very bulky Pokemon, so it can take a lot of hits, but also on the flip side of that, it is actually dealing a lot of damage as well. So that is the one reason I think it's one of the better fairy types to play with in at least the Great League. In other leagues, this is going to be outmatched just because of its low CP that it does have, unfortunately. But it is purpose built for the Great League, and I think that's why it is one of the better ones to choose. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are using it, if you've run any sims or anything with it in the Twilight Cup. I'd be very interested in that. I'm working on those to kind of see. We just finished our Boulder Cup tournament yesterday, so I'm going to post that video as well sometime, so you guys can check that out. If you have subscribed to the channel, I do appreciate y'all doing that. It does help to grow the community and everything, and I hope we can kind of share thoughts and ideas. And once again, I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and until next time, thanks.